Let's get this figured out. This world gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
MaddenHeadz YouTube, what's going on? It is your boy Coach DC coming back at you today with another video, and got a message from one of my Twitter or X guys. How do you always seem to have so much time in the pocket? Seems like you're never rushed. First of all, that's not true, but I mean, it's with the pocket presence stuff, it's a known fact that if you squeeze L2 in the pocket, you know what I'm saying, it enhances your pocket presence. A lot of people think it's just, using the stick a certain way, but nah, if you squeeze L2 while you're in the pocket, it's like there's two different ways. You can hold the ball with two hands, and then you can hold the ball with one hand, and I'll get into a little bit of that in this video. But I mean, to me, it's really just about just being under control, being able to shift your weight and escape or buy time. And so a lot of times, I don't always like step up or step into the pocket. A lot of times, let's say if I'm looking deeper, then a lot of times, sometimes I'll purposely drift a little bit in the pocket, but I am under control. Like I said, anytime you see me basically almost with two hands on the ball in the pocket, I'm squeezing L2 in some capacity. And sometimes you may squeeze it a little harder, and then sometimes it may be a little bit lighter if you want more movement. And your movement kind of depends upon like how hard you squeeze L2. And so a lot of times you'll see when people stand in the pocket, you see them do those little inflections or that little shift of the body weight. And what they're doing is you're trying to control the rush angles. And so a lot of times, if you can readjust yourself in the pocket a few times, it kind of throws the defense off, and it just buys you just a few extra seconds. Yeah, I mean, it's really not a whole lot. Well, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, it's not a whole lot there's to it, because I'm not really an escape the pocket kind of guy, or at least not the way that people do. I don't use the speed boost thing to run outside the pocket. No, normally if I'm gonna escape, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna escape somewhere between the tackles or just outside of the pocket, and then maybe just run up the field for a few yards and then slide. Now I will show y'all. It's some slick little slide mechanics on the game. And I mean, they've been there for a long time. I know people have their own way that they do their slide mechanics, but nah, I got something just I've been using that for years. But for me, for the most part, again, it's setting my feet. Once I get my feet set, I can look and gauge in my peripheral and see where the where the pressure is coming from, or where the free guy or the guy who just disengaged. And then it's just really about, gauging how much time you have to make the throw that you want to make. And so that's why the impact blocking video to me is so prevalent, because, you get stronger blocking up front, and therefore that's going to buy you valuable extra seconds of time in the pocket to let the routes develop. And to me, that's a big thing, is route development, because a lot of times, we may have a really good route combination on the field, but the route that we need to unlock, the route that we want to throw to, we don't have time, to let those two routes kind of cross paths, or for that one route to affect that one defender that's going to spring, that backside post, on the open, or whatever the case may be. But it's just, to me, it's a lot of toggling in the pocket, especially if you are a guy who likes to escape. And again, like I said, I I'll show y'all some stuff in practice mode, but it's just not something I don't know why I can't. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't, because I have. But it's just not something and I should look to, escape with my quarterback a little bit more at times. It's times where I'll go back and watch a game and I'll go, yeah, there was a spot right there where I could have just ran with the quarterback instead of standing in the pocket waiting on this route to develop, and while he's out there running into like 4 or 5 different people, because that's what they do on this game, boy. When they don't want you to succeed, man, your routes will find someone to run into, whether it's your own guy, the defender, the referee, the goal post, man, it does not matter. But for you guys who do like to escape or roll out, it's like when you come up off of L2, you can go to R2, and then you just have to gradually rebuild your speed. There's some things out there. Trust me when I tell you, it's some things that can be done that can really enhance your escapability in the pocket. I'm kind of leery of putting that kind of stuff out, but it's some things that can it can enhance your escapability. To the best of the quarterback's ability. Let me say that, to the best of the quarterback's ability that you have. Now, this is Caleb. So Caleb has 89 speed or something like that. And so, he's not Lamar, but he can pick him up and put him down and get to where he needs to get to. And so, again, it's about a lot of toggling in the pocket, a lot of L2. It's a lot for me, and like I said, people have different ways, and I'm not saying that the other ways don't work for those people. Obviously, they do in some capacity, but just the way I do it, I like to escape inside of the pocket, and then if I can just step up and get a few yards. I'm just not the person who's just gonna run a play just to roll out, just to get on the outside to threaten the edge. It's just not in my repertoire. But again, it's not to say that I can't, but it's like you see right here, re-acceleration in the pocket and how smooth you can toggle from L2 to R2, plus your direction, and like I said, there are some things out there I'll probably release at a later date. But it's some ways you can really get funky in this pocket, man, for real. And just seeing is how the quarterbacks, I'm not going to say that they don't fumble, but the fumbling is not as frequent as it used to be. And so now, you can go down the field, you can take a couple of chances down the field. You're only going to fumble if you're me 9 times out of 10. But I do like the ability to make the moves inside of the pocket. All right, so let's get to the slide thing. So when you're about to go into, or you're coming into contact, get up, son. Squeeze L2 or flick L2 real quick. So that's the left trigger. Pull the stick away from the contact, and then hit square on Xbox really fast 2 times, and I think it's X on square on PlayStation 2 times, and then I think it's X on Xbox. Just tap, and if you're pulling the stick back and squeezing L2 and you tap with the quarterback, this is with the quarterback now, and you're pulling the stick back, you're gonna give yourself up. And it's really kind of aggressive how he does it, because he'll pick up like an extra yard. There's a way to slide head first, and it's kind of crazy. So you see how close that guy was able to get. Now, so I'm gonna give y'all this caveat. Hey, give yourself some room in the game, because y'all know how Madden is. You hit that button one time, you hit it a second time, and nothing happens at all. Y'all be like, man, coach told me this nonsense. Nah, so give yourself some room. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to run right all the way up to the guy's chest, because it's gonna make you feel like you can do it after you execute it a few times. But trust me, Madden is only gonna allow it to be successful at a certain level and certain rate. Anyway, man, I know this is a late one, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It is your boy, Coach. I'm out.